Let me ask you it this way. How old do you think the cells are in your body?
6 or 7 years.
So good, close, a couple of them. So that's good. Most people instantly, your brain will say, well, whatever age you are. Right? Because we just believe that. And it's not true. So most of the cells in your body are under 1 year old. So how can I be 61 standing here, but most of my cells are less than 1 year old? You need to know that. And it's because of those stressors. So what's because of those stressors, right? So the way that we age, let's see. So we all know, like if you think about high school, cells replicate, right? The DNA gets traded. So we only get one original set of a copy of the genes. So we're going back to biology in high school. And that's when the male egg and the male sperm and female egg meet. That's the only original copy that exists. After that, and it happens bazillions of times a day, we get a copy of the copy. And then we get a copy of the copy of a copy. And then a copy of the copy of a copy, right? And it just goes on and on and on. We age because the more times it gets replicated, the less clear that message is to make a good copy. You get that? Mm-hmm. That's important. That's why, like right now at 61, when my liver cells are replicating, it's not as super clear and fine like it was when I was 20. That's why we age. The reason why I want you to know what stressors are about in the backpack analogy is the more rocks that we have, the more stressors we have, the faster that replicates. That's why people are walking around at 61 and they look like they're 80. Mm-hmm. That's why some people are 45 and they look like they're 70. And as we start to build this series, you'll begin to apply better decisions to slow that down. And it comes back to like what your genes need. If you're not feeding them what they need, if you're not thinking right, if you're not eating right, if you're not moving right, the instructions that we have in our genes can't do their job. And we just start to pick up speed, and like a missile, we're aging. That's why. And then just to close that loop, when you talk to your friends, you can tell them that your telomeres are getting shorter. So it's unbelievable. Like the literature is incredible, because all we think about is the double helix. That's why I use that picture, because we think of the ladder that's twisted. It's profound what it really looks like. It's unbelievably, wonderfully complicated. And then, did you know that as that replication is starting, if those proteins don't recognize each other, it has the ability to say, whoop, 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 danger, danger, and unravels itself and goes and finds what it needs and makes the repair. So let me make this comment. Because there are genetic diseases, right? Like my little brother. He had Down syndrome. That's a true genetic disorder. What the science shows is that 2 to 5% of our population, closer to 3, have genetic disorders. Everybody else, 97% of us, 98% of us, have that gene instruction manual that wants us to be well. We're born with that. Okay. Couple more things, and then we're going to shift the gear. So what do we do? How do we start getting better? I already introduced it to you, and that's that we have to start to think better, we have to move better, we have to eat better, truly. And I'm going to add as we go. I'm looking at probably the next 2 or 2.5 years of a cycle. Like every quarter, I want to do one of these in a workshop kind of format, so we can get meat to this theory. And I'm biased because I'm a chiropractor, so I want to do a little chiropractic commercial for 1 minute, because most of you have gotten full spine musculoskeletal care, and we've tried to deliver the highest level that exists out there, and we do with the instruments and the tables that I have. But there's more, and that's the upper cervical work. So some of you have seen this. This is weird holding this all thing. So there's nobody on earth walking around with a head that big, just so you know. So this is just a mop. Maybe there's a couple people. But your upper cervical spine, which means it's referring to up here, is where the biggest hole is that we have in our head. So we have a hole in our head. And neurologically, your brain sits in that, and the brain's stem sits right here. The most movement that's available in your spine is the top. And that's why it lets us turn and spin. So if that's not moving right, that's going to mess this up. And if your brain's not working, all of this can't happen. It needs, your brain is what runs the whole show. So upper cervical care, again, like I had a coach probably 4 years ago that shared with me, you know, are you doing what's congruent in your heart at the office? And we were doing good work with musculoskeletal things, and then I knew that the highest level of chiropractic care is that upper cervical work, and I wasn't doing it. So that's what I started to do a couple years ago. And then actually in 2 weeks we start the advanced certification. So there's more, better chiropractic care available. Some of you, there's a couple of you that we've been able to start that process. And that black book on there, that book shows 5,000 cases that represent 9,000 conditions that favorably improved under that kind of care. Because when I grew up in chiropractic college, I just kept hearing about these miracles happening. And I just didn't believe it. And then I started to meet people that were actually having that happen in our office. And I met some folks that are training me that do mission work, and they have people with neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's. They're shaking. They adjust them upper cervically, which is up here, and then stops as they're standing there. And kids with crossed eyes that get adjusted upper cervically, uncross. So this coming year, I'm looking forward to going out there on some mission trip, and the guys that I'm telling you about, and gals, they saw like 64,000 people in a week. They had a team of like 25 people. And that was in Russia, actually. That's my chiropractic commercial. So, can I have one of those little books, the thin books? I want to show them that. There's a guy named Tomasi. Does anybody know what trigeminal neuralgia is? Thanks, Charisse. Trigeminal neuralgia. It's also known as the suicide diagnosis because it's so horrendously wicked that most of the people take their lives because they can't live. This guy, Dr. Tomasi, Mr. Tomasi, had trigeminal neuralgia. I'm not going to spoil it, but he just did a great work putting it out in the public, and it's in book form of what his story is. Because he had set a date that he was going to take his life, and his wife heard a radio station about a chiropractor, and shared this upper cervical information with him, and then they made an appointment, and then it changed everything. So that's at the desk. Talk about that later. And then, I'm not going to go through it, but Dr. Chestnut's work, if you get on YouTube, if you get in his material, it's case after case after case. They've proved this eat well, think well, move well, and this genetic thing over and over and again. The people that have jumped in, again, he has affiliate offices all over the world, and folks get their lives back, and from almost every disease that you know. It's a favorable response. And it's because, not that chiropractic is awesome, not that Dr. Chestnut is amazing, it's because our bodies are, if it's given a chance. And most of us, because we don't know, we just keep polluting the thing and wondering, are you going to just keep spinning out of control? And we die when we're faster than we should. So the solution is to make sure you get chiropractic care, and you want to go towards upper cervical care for that reason. So I'm going to pause because we need to pause.